Good morning, hope you're all feeling well. Today's video is going to be all about the Artechos and the Lightwish Oil Pastels. I've had a request from someone because they cannot find a video anywhere on YouTube about the Artechos in comparison to the Lightwish. So I'm going to fulfill that promise. Before I get into the video, I'd just like to say thank you to Joy for joining me as a member. She's my 4th member now, and she's joined straight in at the awesome artist level, which is absolutely fantastic, and thank you so much for that. It really is appreciated and it does help me. I have several levels, about 4 I believe. I only posted 3 the other day on posts, so please ignore that. There is actually 4, and you know, I give you different things in them, and please go along and have a look. And please don't forget to subscribe and like the video, if of course you do. Anyway, let's get down to the actual comparison. Why I'm playing with a cup, who knows? Before I get into the actual comparison, just a little word to Joy again. I'm looking at your picture, I'm taking it all in, I'm coming up with some guidance and a bit of a critique for you as requested. So that'll be coming very soon. Anyway, let's have a look at the Lightwish and the Artecho Pastels. Right, looking at the boxes, you can see there's a distinct difference already, as you'd probably expect. And the biggest difference is that in the Artecho they now actually do a 120 colours, which is awesome, I have to say. And the Lightwish have recently come out, well in fact they're both recent, have come out with the 100 colours, which also again is very awesome. The Artechos say they're oil based, non-toxic, high quality pigments, light fast. You know what I think about that. Vibrant colours, easy blending, shading and soft touch. And from experience, I can tell you for certain all of that happens. These are very good oil pastels. Now, the Lightwish don't say so much, but they are light fast. But they say buttery soft, intense colours and smooth texture. And I can tell you again that yes, this is in fact all true statements. So let's have a look at the colours and compare what they're like on a piece of paper. So let's have a look at the colours first. Let's go for the Artecho. I haven't actually used these as yet. It's been a while. So on the inside of the lid you have a colour chart, which is great. It gives you colour names and it gives you colour numbers. And there's every single colour in there. That's really very good. Now in this package you do have a silver, a gold, a pearl white, a fluorescent yellow, orange, red, pink, green and blue. To me personally that's a waste. It's great for anybody that does pictures in them obviously, but for me that's just an absolute complete waste for fine art. And them colours I've also been led to believe are not light fast, so is that actually a contradiction? I don't know. They're saying they're light fast, but fluorescent colours generally are not, so you just have to take that as you find it. I will try to find out, because that's literally only become an issue as I've done this video, but I will try to find out. Inside it you get the normal bump, the instructions, you know, they can actually give you quite a few instructions there if you like that sort of thing. Actually give you one here called oil water separation. I'm not going to go into that because it's for another video probably, and to be honest with you I don't think it's really needed. They tell you who they are, they tell you all the packages they have, they tell you all about the oil pastels. And again you have the colour chart on the back. That's all really quite good. That is very professional I think. And you get a colour chart for which you can just swatch your colours out. Inside you get a, I don't know, a decent bit of foam I suppose. It's not the thickest in the world, but it's not the worst either. And here we have the oil pastels. Now they're divided up into 2 layers. On the top here you've got the greens, the yellows and the reds and oranges, and there's a very good selection. Very good selection. What I'm noticing on the top layer, there's not so many darker colours, but let's have a look at the second layer. So there's the bits, there's 12 of them, which I would disregard for me personally. But then you get into the darker, more nuanced tonal colours, and you know, there's a few there. I personally would like to see a few more, if I'm being honest. But they go into this layer as well, so it's not too bad. A good selection of blues. These colour blues in particular are good for skies, as are these. And there's some really nice nuanced colours in here which are good for animals and all that sort of stuff, and here. So that's a really very good selection, and I'm really looking forward to using them. We'll have a look at the colours of the Lightwish. Now they're in just a decent box, just like the Artecho, and a slightly thinner piece of foam. And these all come black wrapped. Why that is, I don't know. All of the details about the pastels are actually on the pastels, which isn't a lot of good to you if you're in a shop trying to buy them and you need to know. But because of, obviously you cannot look in the actual packet themselves. On the Artecho, let's just have a quick look. Now, see, they have it on the box and not on the oil pastel, which is more sensible. I'd like to see it on both, but you know, you have to do what they want. So on the top here we have the darker colours on top at the moment, and there's quite a few darker colours in here in comparison. There's a good set of greens. They're probably all a little bit mixed up because I've actually used these, and I'll get onto that in another video. But there's a really good selection there. That's the darker selection, and then here's the lighter selection. Oh look, here's one that I've used already. I've used that out of another set. And there's a good selection of yellows, blues, purples, reds and oranges. So there's a really good selection in there. And the overall appearance for me, if I just put these side by side, bearing in mind these are all the lighter colours, you would say that the Artecho seem a lot lighter and a lot brighter. Not really sure why that would be. It might just be due to the makeup of the pastels. I'm not really sure, but they distinctly give me a brighter look. I always get this sort of brown look when I go into Costa Coffee. Doesn't really make me feel that thirsty, I have to say, and this brighter look whenever I'm drinking milkshake. So silly things to say, it's just how it makes me feel. But let's have a look at how they perform, shall we? And we'll try and get similar colours. Now I've picked out just a random selection here, and you can see that there are distinct differences between each of these colours, and that for me goes for the entire box of both the Artecho and the Lightwish. You will get completely different colour arrangements in both of them, which tells me that they're not made by the same company, and you know, they're made by a different manufacturer. But I mean, these are the literal closest I can get to each of the colours. So that's quite good. I'm quite pleased with that. So let's just see how they feel compared to each other. We'll do the Artecho on this side and the Lightwish on this side. So here's the Artecho. The Artecho feel silky. They feel firm. They feel as if they would layer very well, as you can see what I'm doing. I mean, that's a very, very good coverage there. Really pleased with that. Now the Lightwish. The Lightwish do not feel dissimilar in their feel, but they feel softer. And they feel as if they're not covering quite as well, although they will cover eventually. I think it's because they're softer and you end up digging into the pastel a bit, which makes all that difference. For me, personally, right now, I prefer the Artecho because they lend themselves better for what I want. Now, that does actually say that that's a transparent colour on there, and the Artecho doesn't actually tell you whether it's transparent or not, so that's probably the reason for seeing the paper through this one more. Let's go on to this blue colour, shall we? Now, again, the Artecho, firm but silky. Very nice, in fact, very nice. I do like Artechos. Yeah, firm, silky, a very, very good layering process, and an even layer. Now, the Lightwish again, and this one, I believe, is again a transparent colour. You can feel the softness. These are both very, very good pastels. You can feel the softness in that, and it layers on like oil paint, whereas this layers on in a nice even layer. This layers on in like a thicker, oily painting type of layer. Now let's try the red. Again, the Artecho. Again, firm, and layers up lovely. Look at that, vibrant, brilliant. And the Lightwish, again, stickier, and again, oh, I've made a mistake. How did I do that? There's a Soho pastel in there. Oh, get rid of that quickly. Get rid of it. There you are. There's your card trick. Look. Get your old credit card, scrape it off. Oh my word, no wonder that was completely different. Let's find a Lightwish. Oh my word, John. Didn't notice that. I don't know how that Soho's got into there because I've not even used the Sohos yet. That's why I had that odd one kicking about. Here we go then. Right, here we go. Let's go over the top of this. There we go. Again. Oh, the Soho was stickier, but this is even stickier. So a nice thick layer. Look at that. Look at that. It's beautiful. It really is beautiful. If you like that thick textured layer, then the Lightwish are the ones for you. But if you like something more a bit clean and crisp, then the Artecho are for you. Shall we see how they blend? So, blending beautifully. I'll post up a picture that I've done with the Artecho, and that'll probably explain what I'm about to say. So these are beautiful to blend, absolutely beautiful, and they blend superbly. Look at that, they blend a treat, but they are firmer, so it takes a little bit more work. Turn the cotton bud so you don't bring the darkness too far, and then just blend and fade out and blend into the next colour. Look at that. Look at that. What a superb blend that is. Right, now let's go on to this thicker oil pastel. You can feel the softness. And if that's what you're looking for, then these are the ones for you. Again, they blend great. I would say don't overwork them. Turn the cotton bud, get the fresh colour, and then come down into your next colour. Look at that. Oh, this red is thick as anything. You have to press a little bit lighter with the Lightwish because they are a stickier pastel. Okay, see how they spread out. Spread out lovely, spread out superb, but then you get this look of pilling. Okay, so what do I get from that? I get that these Artechos are a lot firmer and they are better for a more precise blending. They probably are a little bit more muted. Which my initial thoughts were when I laid them on just as pure pastel was that the Lightwish was more muted, but as you blend them, I think because the Lightwish have a thicker consistency to them, they keep their colour a lot better. So they're firm, better for a precise blending. I think they would work in conjunction with the Lightwish to get your slightly different tonal values to use as probably an underlayer if that's what you wanted. Although you can do an entire picture with these Artechos, no problems, but if you wanted brighter highlights, perhaps go for the Lightwish. So the Lightwish are a lot softer. They give you probably, if I'm being fair, more of that oil pastel look. Because they are thicker and you get like the texture lines in them, and you can get the impasto look if that's what you're after. Personally, for me, the Lightwish would be harder to use because I like the precise details that I can get with some oil pastels. So I prefer a slightly firmer oil pastel. If I had to compare them to the top oil pastels, I'd say Artecho would be your Caran d'Ache Neo pastels and Lightwish would be your Sennelier oil pastels. That's the difference, the firmness and the softness. The colour range is completely different, but you can use either box to get what you want. There are more colours in the Artecho, but 12 of them are fluorescent colours and silver and pearl colours, so to me, waste of time. So they're probably about the same. If Lightwish put them in their pastels, then obviously they bring them nearly up to 120. If you're looking to finger blend, I would use Lightwish because they will keep the colour better. They do seem more transparent, but they are very vibrant. Cost-wise, there's not a great deal of difference. The Lightwish are more expensive, and if you consider that you get 120 in the Artecho and only 100 in the Lightwish, probably makes them quite a lot more expensive in that way. But the Lightwish are very definitely worth every single penny, as too are the Artechos. There is a difference between them. I mean, as I've blended them, the colours have gone into each other and that looks more muted, but you can keep that better if you really wanted to. I mean, so you can just go over with the colour again. It's probably because it's a more muted colour anyway by the look of it. But you can keep that cleaner by adding more pastel on top. Yeah, look at that, that's beautiful. Beautiful. You definitely get that smoother look. So, if you're looking to save money, get the Artecho. If you're looking for quality, get either. If you're looking for an impasto look, get the Lightwish. If you're looking for details, get the Artecho. If you're looking for an oil painting look, get the Lightwish. There is not a lot between these, albeit there is a lot of difference between the pastels. Personally, I would have both, as I have, and I would use them together if I wanted to. So there you have it. Hobson's choice, really, isn't it? They're both superb oil pastels. You won't go wrong with either of them. I do love the Artecho, it has to be said. If I was really forced to have to choose, personally for me, it would always be the Artecho. And the reasons for that is because purely it lends itself to my style of painting. I look for that smoother, more blended, more precise, detailed look. And I get that with my oil pastels. But if you're looking for something that's a bit chunkier, then you can go for the Lightwish. I would say the difference between John Etheridge and Wu Namo, if you know who he is. Both do good oil pastels and both do different oil pastels. There is no way that I can really tell you which one is better because it is down to you. You know, obviously there's all sorts of things like the cost and the style and all those sorts of things to take into consideration. They are both very, very, very good oil pastels. And for me, it's always going to be the Artecho, purely based on my style. Anyway, please have a look at my memberships. And if you want to join, please do. And I'm in the process of giving Joy a critique over her artwork. And I will do a live stream, perhaps, to show her that. We will have to see. I'll either write an email back or I'll do her a personal live stream. And I will also do that for you too if you join the top level. You'll either get an email or a personal live stream. It all depends which is easier at the time for me and for you. Personally, probably more for you. So until next time, please have yourselves a great day, a great week and a great year. And again, always be kind. There's no point in all this hassle. We're living in a hard enough world as it is. Take care of yourselves. Bye for now.